All right, everyone. It's right after the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're doing this week is building out the sales dashboard in a series. And to get things kicked off properly, my name is Danny Ross, and I'm going to be your host for this week's AI Lunch and Learn, where we focus on continuing to build out our AI dashboards as we assemble ultimately the Drive AI 360 business dashboard. We've done the main dashboard, we've done the AI agents, we've done the marketing dashboard, and this week we're going to focus in on the sales dashboard. Aside from the links that I've given you, if you have missed out on any of the previous lessons, they're all here on the YouTube channel that we have. I've been building out with a focus on these dashboards for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to continue that for another 2 weeks as we complete the entire business, the Drive 360 business dashboard, which will encompass all of these components. I'm kind of showing you week by week. The focus is really, again, you can use any AI tool you would like to use, but I like to use old school ChatGPT, the OG, if you will, and it does a pretty good job for me. It's well trained on all the things that I like. So that's kind of the benefit of sticking with one, but you can use any of the ones, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot. They all have the general functionality to build out these dashboards. The latest Claude and ChatGPT functionality includes a truly strong AI agent that can help you build out not only the required dashboard, but also the website that you can use internally with your team. All of that functionality is in one place. And for right now, ChatGPT is hosting it. The benefit there is that you don't have to do anything extra to actually create these meaningful dashboards. And again, ultimately, I assume they're going to start charging us for this wonderful functionality. But for now, hey, it's not costing anything. And you can create your own domain name associated with these different dashboards. So that makes it even more powerful as far as your ability to share it internally. And eventually, of course, you can also share all of these externally. As we go along, just some housekeeping. If for whatever reason have a question, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I really do like that. And here's this week's dashboard. I don't even know if I should share this with you guys yet, but I'm going to share it with you with the promise that you're not going to go wandering off and forget about the rest of the class, just going ahead of prompting and just running amok. All right. I literally, as we were at the top of the hour, recreating the workbook because I felt that it wasn't strong enough. The previous version I had created. And so I haven't even read this dashboard. So just go take it with a grain of salt. I do know and trust my GPT to handle simple tasks like creating a workbook. But if you're going to sell that workbook or do anything more complex, please, please, please make sure you go ahead and completely read and edit accordingly. All right. For the purpose of automations, I'm going to show you after we get past this part here, all of the fun things that I do on a weekly basis and the automations that I'm building, and I'll share those automations with you. It's kind of the main purpose of this class is not only to have lessons and things like that, but to give you real every week kind of enhancements that I use personally and that I discover in my ongoing education across the internet. And as we're building this, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm literally having the AI build some of these things as we go along and speak. I'm moving right now a couple of slides into this actual live demo deck, and I'll show you how I do that in the upcoming weeks because I think that's also an important component for you guys that are out there in business and you're using all these AI tools and you want to make sure that everything that you create is consistent with your branding and things like that. Oh, by the way, if this is your first time here, please put a 1 in the chat. I always like to know who's new, make sure that you are not too far behind in the lessons and the things that we're showing. That way you can kind of keep up. Welcome, Sharon, to the AI Lunch and Learn. It's a lot of fun. We do practical and fun things here every week. Thank you for the comment on the music. I don't even do it anymore. I've handed it all off to AI. So my Apple Music, I have a channel that I follow, and I just occasionally have to tweak it, but generally it just runs and it entertains the class every week. That's a good example of using AI in both personal and business. Right. We use AI every single day. Everyone here is in a business, and whether it's a nonprofit business, you're trying to raise donations and find sponsors, or you're in a traditional commercial business, whether it's products or services, sales, and generating revenue for your organization is the really number one task. We all get distracted doing other things, and that is just a reality of business. But everybody has the goal of raising and generating more revenue, even if you're a nonprofit. The idea with sales and AI is real simple. So let's get into it here. Oh, and by the way, for those who have not been on any of my classes, I'll share a few more simple prompts that you should have and know. One is called the interview prompt, and you should run this on your own AI large language model. And the reason for that is it's a great AI to, okay, cool. As I said, I was building it and it needed to update. Anyway, yes, that prompt there is the foundational prompt. It lets you have an interview conversation with the AI of your choice, have it learn about you so that you ultimately create what's called a business brief. I also have another business brief prompt in the updated workbook. Here we go. And so this is the workbook that I shared this week. And so we wanted to build out this sales dashboard. And so I'm showing you how the class is going to go, the agenda, and what we're going to be doing. We're going to be fixing the problem with the sales flow, and then we actually have it in. Here's your business brief prompt, which is a more advanced version, if you will, of the interview prompt I just shared. So you have it in both places. Really, this is the foundation, and you want to start there for any of the dashboards and things that we're going to build. You need to teach the AI about your business so that it can give you meaningful information. All right. Class priorities, we're going to work on clear priorities, better follow-up, prepared messages, and a visible pipeline so you can manage your risk. The sales problem is not always a lead problem. Last week, we worked on marketing, which was lead problems solving. And so review that video. And now we're going to work on what happens in the follow-up, what happens in the sales execution, the conversions that you need. So where are all the things hidden? Sometimes someone's waiting for a response from you that you never even see because it's buried in your 2,000 emails. These are the types of things that AI can help you uncover in a very simple way. And I'll actually show you some of the sales dashboard that I built out for my real processing and also a mock one that we have for the class. What needs my attention today from a sales point of view? Which customers are waiting for a reply? Which meeting I do have to get prepared for? This is all things that we all work on at either 9 p.m. at night or 6 a.m. in the morning as we get our day started. AI can help you organize these things once you train it on what is the most important things for you. And as a matter of fact, if you have Gmail today, some of these tools are built into our email functionality. But then again, if you're using Outlook as your calendar and you have tools that you use all over the place, AI can actually go and look at all of those tools and put it all together in one place. That's the real magic. It's not that your email inbox doesn't give you some of this already nowadays with AI built into every tool, but it's more along the lines that if I have things in other places, my CRM and all these other places, how do I get it all in one place? And that's where AI agents can really make your business run smoothly. Inbox, calendar, drive, CRM. Again, these don't have to worry about brand names and things like that. This is generic to all businesses. And if CRM, everybody should know is, the content management system for all of your contacts. The AI business operating system, that's what we're building, the Drive 360. So we're going to put all of these contacts in one location, and we're going to have rules that are based on fact. And this is important for AI. You don't want the AI hallucinating meetings or contacts. You want it to be focused on just you and have human approvals. It's it's really important that you set the borders of what the AI is allowed to do. For the class, some of you have been here before and heard all of this. Some of you are new, so I'm just trying to make sure I blend it together for both old and new, which is a challenge for a weekly education show. Why the business brief changes everything. This is what I was speaking on earlier. Always start with that. Give it the training. There was a time when you had to build your prompts step by step, and I gave lots of classes over the last 2 years on how to build a great prompt. Some of that has really faded. It's really good to understand a good prompt, but now context is even more important than strong prompting in that you start the AI off properly trained with the right information, and it can infer and do things for you along the lines. Once you train it up, the outcome is it can jump to its own conclusions with the real context, and then the AI can jump and do some decisioning for you. And then it looks at the real facts and data and evidence and produces some really good output. This is where we're going here with these agents these days. All right, I did give you all of this. I'm going to just flow through this. I'm going to give you this deck at the end. Okay. The business brief, highly important. I just showed you that prompt. And then the evidence maps. This is an important concept. The idea is you can pick the things you want to connect. Right now, I'm kind of pushing hard on Google Workspace because I like to use it myself. And so I want to use real world examples, but you can replace Gmail with Outlook, Calendar with Outlook Calendar, or some other calendar that you love. Drive is a folder with all of your files and things in it. It can be a local folder. I was working with the AI earlier today, fixing a customer AI app problem that I built. I just fed in that folder of all of the coding changes that I had done over the last year and a half. And what's interesting is the purpose of that, my doing that was I wanted the AI to understand the AI development path that I used to build that app. And because the challenge I'm having today is in the coding updates that I've done, I broke something. I needed the AI to go back in time and history, and this is what AI is really good at, and find where I broke it and go, okay, here's where it got broken with all of the new changes. This is no longer connected to this pipe, and that's no longer. Now I can have the AI help me fix that coding error. And so now, of course, I can do the purpose of giving it a folder with information is the same as giving it the business brief. You want it to be working with facts, number one, real facts, and number two, have that historical information. And once I share that drive with it, I don't have to do it every time. I can just say, okay, go back in the coding from December 2025, find the error and update this, and that. CRM, same thing. This is where your contact and customer information is kept. If you can link to your CRM, even if it's a bunch of spreadsheets, then that's fine. Whatever you're using to manage your customers, if you can give it to the AI, then it can keep track of the actual sales status as we move forward. All right. I'm not going to belabor this slide, but it's just a reminder for you as you review that if you're missing something, the dashboard will be not as strong. You want to be able to give it the data. Where that data lives doesn't really matter. Just make sure you can include it. And these are the reasons why you want to be able to have it. Okay. Connection audit. The AI will run a connection audit, making sure that it has all the connections, the right permissions, things like that. I'll give you a perfectly real world example. As I was running the latest dashboard update, the AI popped up and said the Google Calendar connection had expired. And that's purposeful from Google in that it wants you to renew any of these remote third-party connections to its solutions momentarily, or I don't even know the frequency, but it'll pop up every now and again. Just be aware as you build out your agent, you might have to give permission again for any of these types of connections. And that's a good thing from a security point of view. You want to always be in control and make sure these things are not running amok. If you guys are curious, there's a lot of stories about AI running amok where you need to add those controls. All right, the evidence ladder. Okay, so it's looking for patterns. It's basically putting together the important conversations, and it'll get better at this over time. It's just learning your business, and then it's going to look for any current proposals and contracts. This is all parts of the normal sales workflow for any organization. You have scheduled meetings coming up, you have direct customer requests, and then you have any kind of next step activity in any of your tools that the AI is tracking for you. It'll put all these things together and work through the reality of your current status and state. If you tell this thing to run every 7 a.m., it's going to take a new updated scan of your email box. It's going to take an updated scan of your calendar, CRM, your drive folder to see if there's any actionable files and things that it needs to do. This is where it's really, really important to put all of those things together into this workflow, if you will. Let's go ahead and run some of these prompts. You can tell the AI to review your inbox and do certain things for you. It can look for all of these things in history. You can tell it how far you want it to go back. So you can be really, really specific on how this inbox does. Okay. Act as my AI follow-up specialist. Review accessible Gmail activity for the last X days, in this case, 14 days for customer questions, information, or proposals. All right. In other words, scan my inbox, find anything that is amiss, find any things that I need to follow up on, bring all these things. Now, as I said, your Gemini and your Google inbox, your Copilot in your Microsoft inbox can do this functionality for you, and soon Siri will be joining the fray. So the idea would be you can have it do this, you can have it create the replies for you. You can have it run every week at a certain time and date, those types of things. This prompt, as I said, I will share all of these prompts with you. They're also going to be in your workbook, and don't worry about if you missed anything, okay? And then you tell it, hey, run this every day at 6 a.m., whatever time you need it to run. And so the goal ultimately is to, okay, thanks. Thanks, Sharon. The goal is to basically run all of these prompts on a standard kind of a flow, tie them in with all of the other dashboards, and ultimately we're going to have a business a Drive 360 dashboard that'll be your command center. You wake up in the morning, turn on your phone, laptop, iPad, whatever you're using, and get all of this data brought to you, and then you can action on it before you even get your first cup of coffee, okay? These are the things that we're building towards. Let's keep rolling. Meeting intelligence. When you walk into a meeting, you want to have all of these things. And we do all of this on a regular basis. If you're in business, the idea is to basically assemble everything, have it ready for your meeting. Of course, everybody knows this process. Now we're having AI help you roll it all together. What do I need to bring? Relevant files. Do I have them? Remember the old days of file folders going into a meeting? Okay, I've got everything in my file folder. All right, what did I promise in the last meeting? Questions I need to ask to resolve the issue. We've all had these meeting prep sessions. Now AI can help you roll it all together. It can remember last 6 months of meetings, all the things that were promised and never delivered, and then what's the desired outcome. You got to go into a meeting with an outcome. That's really important. Act as my AI preparation manager. Find my next business meeting involving a customer, prospect, partner, proposal, project, so on and so forth. Use calendar, and then verify everything, and then go. What are we building? What are we building? Let me show you a couple of examples here. I think this is the dummy example that I've created for us. And the reason I'm pausing here is because I want you to kind of see these things as we're building it all out with the prompts and making sure that we're seeing the end result. All right, there we go. Easier to read. Sorry, class. All right, so the idea is we want to be able to have, this is the updated, if you will, fake dashboard, and I'll show you my real dashboard in a second, but this is the fake dashboard, and the idea is, see how it put everything together? It is, you can have a real AI chatbot as part of the website that the AI build for you. So you have the summary, the daily brief. Okay, things are going well. We need to focus on this and that. Approve this campaign. You know, I always like the word Acme in from the cartoons. Acme AI proposal. Healthy growth, and it shows the pipeline. So this is what we're building towards. This is where all that prompting I'm showing you is going to go towards this. and then break down today's schedule, the 5 items that need attention for the day. So the AI is going out to all these places and pulling it into one dashboard that you can use on a regular basis. And this is what we're building towards. I just wanted to quickly show you an example of that. As for my real dashboard, is this one here? Yeah, I think this is one. I had the AI build this for the also because it's again doing the same thing just for the dummy stuff and then for the real thing. So these are real things I have to get, exactly put together for today for my class, not only for my class, but also for my business. So you can see my AI Lunch and Learn is the focus for today. I have a couple of meetings. I have that app I mentioned. I have some things I need to work on for a video website. It's tracking the registrations for me. Sharon introduced herself, so I'm not shy of showing this for you. Marvetta, and then this is the breakdown of my drive formula of what you need to do every single week, every single day. And then here's the class production package, making sure that I have everything, the demos, and then I have my VA. We're working on some things, and then the pipeline, and then CRM. I didn't add my CRM to this one because, again, this is for the class. I don't want to use real data. And then it breaks down on that whole. And then this is the important one as well. 5 questions. Who do I need to reply to today? And there you go. It breaks it down. Which meeting do I have to prepare for? Which opportunity is stuck? What evidence is missing? CRM stages, and then what's my best action? Those are all the things that, we're building into our dashboard, making sure that we not only collect all the evidence properly, real evidence, so that when we build this dashboard, it is based on reality. Again, the whole goal is have one source of truth kind of collected from all of our different tools, put in one place. All right. I'm going to re-upload some of the links. I saw that a few people have joined. If you have not, no worries. They're all here on the links that I gave you for the YouTube channel. You can watch some of the previous videos. And just in case I can't remember who came in when, I'm also going to drop in this week's workbook one more time. And so everybody has it. And then finally, we will keep a rocking and rolling. This is the prompt to make sure as we build out the meeting preparation part of it, it's going to pull all of the things that I need to do and put them in one place. It's going to scan my inbox. It's going to find my calendar, and it's going to make sure that I'm ready for my next meeting. And then just as important, right? You have all of these different things flying at you. It's important to know I have an opportunity that's stuck somewhere, meaning I'm either waiting for the customer to give me something, that happens a lot, or they're waiting on me to deliver. I need to make sure that opportunity keeps moving along. So just be aware of all the things that could be missing. You train the AI on your standard operating procedure or SOP, and then the AI can keep track of it for you. It's also magical. I saw today it popped into my real dashboard, something that I totally forgot about. That's the purpose of AI, to help you do these tasks on a regular daily or weekly basis. So any of the things that are missing, you want that AI to run this prompt. Act as my AI pipeline risk analyst. Okay. You want it to go through everything for the last 30 days, see where everything is, and see if anything is stuck. As you rank your priorities in your pipeline, this will help you as well. Again, we're building all these things into one dashboard. You as the executive can immediately see all of these things and be able to update. Okay. All right. What's the purpose of the DRIVE acronym? Again, reminder, deploy, what's today's priorities, reach, make sure you're getting out to everybody and dealing with everything, implementation, you're actioning on those things, validating, seeing what's working and expand upon it. And so real simple acronym, but it does a lot for our business flow. All right, moving on. So this is kind of a restatement. Rank actions, do not just list them. All right. It is really important that, and this is something that I suffer from. If I show you my to-do task list, you would just laugh at the ridiculousness of it. But here's what's fun. As my AI gets smarter, it'll be able to go through my tasks list and say, yeah, Danny, no, that's not happening today. You might want to contact the customer and let them know. Or even if it's personal things like the grocery list. Okay, I need to focus on that for 10 minutes to get that done and go out and do the shopping. How do I squeeze all that into one day? These are the things that you don't want to just make list upon list upon list. We probably are all guilty of having a ridiculous list. Having the AI reprioritize things for you based on the day. So, like for instance, on a Wednesday, what needs to float to the top is everything I need to have ready for my meetings, everything I need to have happen ready for my AI lunch and learn session. I built automation that starts on Sunday, making sure everything is built leading up to the Wednesday. And I still have to tweak things just before the class on Wednesday sometimes. A better next action. So the AI is going to learn and get better at this, but this is really important. It's going to give you specific, strong, actionable intel. It's going to tell you specifically what you're going to be working on instead of just some thing you have in your task list that says, don't forget to blah, 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 blah. It's going to give you more data, actually link you to your calendar, link you to that folder where everything is. That's the difference between you manually doing it and having the AI do it. I had it build the workbook, and the reason why I was rebuilding the workbook is I noticed it didn't this week put in any images and things like that I like to have for you guys, diagrams. And so I had it rebuild it just a couple of minutes before the class. And so this is where, again, AI can still get things wrong and the human has to review it and make sure it's right. But its ability to really pull in all of that data into one document in 5 minutes is truly, truly amazing. All right. If I was an Apple guy, which I am, I would say it's magical. All right. Build a complete dashboard. So set the role. So here's what's also fun. This is how I teach in the prompting. Act as my AI sales operations manager. So you give the AI a role specifically, or the agent, excuse me, not the AI, the agent in this case, a role. Act as my and tell it where you want it to do. Verify the sources, tell it where it's going to get its data from. Define the window. So review today, the previous 14 days, and the next 7 days for all signals. So these signals are what's going to cue the AI on these different things, organized by drive. And so if I show you a drive folder for this, you would see different folders I have. And then on a weekly basis, it drops new thumbnails. I have it create the thumbnails for my ABC weekly meeting that some of you are from. It can go in and basically create the documents that I need, including these workbooks that I just shared with you. It can include the slides that I need for my Gamma, and then I'll review that and enhance what I think it needs to be enhanced so that it's more understandable by humans and that type of thing. Oh, hey, Rodney, welcome. Is this class being recorded? Absolutely. Not only is this week's recorded, all the previous ones are recorded as well. I dropped the link for the YouTube in the chat. And so these are all here. And so this week's will be up. It usually takes my VA a day or two to get it uploaded, as long as she sees my automated email reminding her to upload it. If she does a quick edit on it, I don't do any highfalutin fancy editing on my videos. They're pretty much just as they go through. I do clean out the ums and ahs as much as possible using a tool called Descript, which I also linked in the chat, which is really, really good for cleaning up these types of repetitive, recurring videos in the shortest amount of time. It's a great video editor if you ever need that particular thing. And then, of course, one of my favorite tools of all time is Gamma, which I use every single week. All right, make the AI show its work. Okay, so here's what's important with AI. It can hallucinate, can make stuff up for you. We've talked about that on this class. By having it always show the sources, it's gotten really, really good. ChatGPT has gotten really, really good at showing its sources of where it's pulling things from. Perplexity has always done that. That's what made Perplexity so good as an AI education tool. Its research mode was standard. It always showed you the sources. All of the other AIs do that now, which is really, really good. Okay. What is it assuming? What are you assuming? And then how confident are you in the answer is one of the questions you always ask the agent as it works, and you'll see its work. I love the detail. It shows you, hey, I'm pulling this from here, I'm doing this task, and things like that. It's really interesting to watch as it builds. And then you want to challenge the dashboard, make sure that everything that's on there is real and factual. If you're the owner of a smaller business, it's easy to tell. But if you're an executive at a bigger organization, this is where the challenge can come in to make sure everything that you're getting is real and not just something that either one of your employees accidentally made up. No employee would make up things on purpose. Accidentally made up, and or you just want to make sure the agent who is now an employee doesn't make things up either. Okay. And then thinking that all the things that it goes on fine, make it into easily into a automated reply functionality that the AI will reply to a customer's inquiry, show it to you, you can approve it and send it. That's kind of where we are right now. Ultimately, we'll get to the point where it'll write the reply and send it for you. I have a couple of tools that I've shared with you guys in the past. The leadbiz.ai does a pretty good job of responding on your behalf if you train it up properly. Leadbiz.ai is a agent emailing system for mass emailing. It does batch email, but it also does personalized individual emails to your database of emails based on whatever it is, whether it's an invite to a meeting like our weekly meeting here, or it's an event you're inviting people to, things like that. That's an example of an agent. Now, a lot of this stuff is being built into every tool that we have. So it's really a fun time to be doing all of these things. I bring all this up because in real world, AI does make mistakes, and it's really important that if you're going to have it reply on your behalf, currently you should review it yourself. I have an app I mentioned that I was working on fixing a bug. One of the bug fixes includes that when we were originally analyzing a video and creating shorts and reels from that longer video content, the AI would automatically pull out the best parts of the video and create a short based on what's exciting in the video. And it was working. And then I coded something that broke it. And so now the videos, the shorts that it created is no longer really relevant. We had to go back and find the bug, fix the bug. And that's what I'm working on now. That's what I was talking about when I say you as the human are still have to go back and make sure everything is correct. Find expansion revenue. Yes, yes, yes. How do we make more money? What's good about this part of the lesson is even after you've got your system all running, and this is where you have the validate, which is the one we just went over, the VA for validate in the drive format. We're now talking about the expansion. We've got the system, we've tweaked the system, we've fixed it. It's doing a good job finding relevant and real data. Now, I need your help, AI, in how do I make more money? I have this challenge with a couple of customers that they're not getting the conversions that I wanted them to see and they want to see. We're having the AI do some analysis of their various websites. It's something that I do for customers all the time. You have a website, it's kind of pretty. It answers some basic about us kind of questions, but it's not generating real revenue. How do you get it to do revenue? Obviously, you can either throw time or money at it, but with the AI, that time portion of it can be reduced. AI can do some really great analysis in a short period of time, give you some ideas that you can go out and test. As you know, with marketing is a science, yes, but it's also an art form, and you never know what will allow your business to grow the fastest. There's tried and true things that you can absolutely make sure you've done, but ultimately it's a little bit of an experimenting type of thing. I've been in sales for over 30 years, and we've always had this debate with marketing in that, you say to marketing, here's, $500,000, go find us some new leads and customers. And they come back and they say, well, we sort of kind of found some new leads and customers. I want you as sales to now go through and qualify them and see if they're real or not. And so they can bring back quantity or they can bring back quality. And so a lot of times that requires experimentation to find the correct blend. And you do that in your own business. If you put out marketing, you do some ads in Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, wherever you do your marketing, and then you're like, "Ah, I'm actually not making any money from this." And then another ad you put out, which you're not even, really expecting, goes viral. The concepts are there is a science layer to it, and then the rest is experimentation and an art form. My point is, yes, we all want additional contacts and customers. And so having the AI help you find the obvious broken things, that's what AI is really good at. And then the rest will be experimentation and things that you can build upon. And human approval as the control layer, I have to keep emphasizing this because you're getting more automations now in your business. It's really, really important that you keep control. Okay. So you can have the AI do all the things on the left, and then the things on the right, you still want to make sure you maintain control. As I go along, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. Happy to answer them. And then from report to mobile command center. So you have that versus the AI just giving you a weekly report of all the things you need to do or the daily report. Instead, have it actually help you create actionable next steps. And so now you don't have to go back and do the research, find all the customers that need an action. It can go do that. And then focus in on the things that you're prioritizing. You can even tell it what you're prioritizing. Say, okay, for this week, I want to focus on this challenge and I want to do this, 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 and that. Go find me all the things I need and bring it back to me. And then you can go ahead and jump right on it. This is really good. And again, the goal is to build this out. You can do your 7 a.m. workflow, and it could be 6 a.m., whatever. And then you can do it. If I show you my calendar says every morning I'm going to get up at 5:30 and go exercise. And then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do that. Depending on your personality, where you have a regimented, calendar, or if you're more of make sure my meetings are on there, everything else I'll kind of handle. You can train your AI on how you like things to be and how you like it to flow, and then it will pick up on your style. That's my main point of that. And then it goes through all the way through and creates this workflow for you. And then you have the accuracy rules. I won't go through that again. And then finally, it builds out the dashboard for you. The real magic is this. It's not it's a dashboard. It is that, and I love AI. It's so funny. And this is what I was, remember when we were joking that I was building this on the fly? I literally had it run this slide, not four. I had it run about 10 slides at the end here where I just let it run. And I'll never stop laughing at this. AI is just so silly sometimes. What did we learn today? Do as I say versus do as I do. This is why I said you never want to release anything publicly unless you've actually reviewed it. I did not review this slide, and as you can see, somehow there's a magic arm coming out here. The hand clasp is utterly ridiculous. It's just hilarious to me. This is a perfect example of why you cannot let these AIs run amok at this stage. They're still not 100% accurate, but it did create all of this stuff in 3 minutes. So again, trade-off. Rodney asked, what privacy concerns are there with using AI and ChatGPT, and can these issues or non-issues change in the future? Absolutely. AI is going to continue to get better, and you as the human in the equation, your current goal is to avoid things like these errors here by simply reviewing the content and things that AI creates. From a privacy concern point of view, some of that ship has somewhat sailed. And I say it that way because simple fact in reality is I used to work maybe 15 of my sales years career in the actual authentication and security space. I've had a lot of experience with corporate, and when I say corporate, I'm talking corporate 100 level security conversations about computers, AI, and understanding all of the pitfalls and possible things that can happen to you. And I sold solutions to help secure banks using authentication methods like voice biometrics and all of the other biometric tools that are available, whether it's facial recognition, all these other things. High level, highly secure, really important things that are reality, protecting people's money. When you break that down into the current world of AI and agents and all of the things, as you give it more access and control into your real data, your human data. So there is an absolute concern about privacy. There's lots of pending lawsuits about, intellectual property. There's pending lawsuits about, all of the different things associated with AI and is it stealing information and data. That's on a high level, theoretical level. On a personal level, you are the human, you are responsible for what you let AI have access to. There is some reality when I say the ship has sailed, in that we have already given AI access to quite a bit of our data, personal data, meaning our email, specifically our chat. It knows a lot about us. How it uses it and how the company is responsible for these AI tools manifest that is one of the key questions. And certain organizations have better reputations than others. We know that Meta, for example, is notoriously guilty of selling our information for profit. They claim that they're working on it, but they don't really have to, because in the fine print of every contract with all these companies, the simple fact of the matter is, and I had a partner, Joel, and his line he loves to say is, if it's free, that means that you are the product. And that's a simple way to think of it. If you have Gmail instead of a business email account, everything that you feed through that thing, ultimately it's free. They're going to do something to make money. Same thing with Facebook, which is free. They're going to sell all of the things you look at to their advertisers, whether that contains personal data. Probably not. It probably doesn't include personal data, but they sell access to you and what you like and what you watch and read to their advertisers. Even if it's anonymous, that is your private stuff. If it's free, you are the product and they're selling. If you pay for it, the hope is that by me paying $20 a month, okay, they won't necessarily just immediately sell everything that they learn about me to somebody else. AI privacy is a real issue. We are nowhere near understanding exactly what all the issues are, but you can keep yourself, if not safe, at least not exposed as much as possible by controlling how much the AI has access to. Now that we've kind of gone past that, you want to protect yourself with some reasonable amount of privacy and security. And every AI tool has different controls you can go in and access and change. And ultimately, I used to tell, I've known both white hat hackers, black hat hackers, and I've known coders who build apps. I've known security analysts and security guys, the truly paranoid among us. And the simple fact of the matter is, as an average human being, it's kind of like the lock on your front door. It will keep honest people out. It will keep amateur crooks out, but professional crooks are going to get in. So you have to deal with that reality. And it's the same thing with AI and your computer and things. I tell this joke every time I teach a class on computers and security. If you can remember your password, it's not a good password. It's just that simple. You should not be able to remember your own password. It needs to be randomly generated, a bunch of letters and numbers and special symbols and characters. And you need to use that methodology with an additional step of some sort of two-factor authentication, even if it's as silly as SMS or if it's an actual authenticator app. You have to protect yourself, okay? Because if you can remember the password, that means you're either reusing it, haven't written down somewhere, or it's just not a good password. You should not be able to remember your password. Is there one password maybe you want to use that you remember? That may be your banking password for obvious reasons. But the reality is, again, if you can remember your password, that means you've been using it too long. And so unless you are changing that password occasionally, just like if you were ever worked in corporate America, they make you change your password every 6 months or whatever. And the reason for that is simple, because if you're using the same one over and over again, you're probably using it in multiple places. So I say all of that to say, protect yourself. And if you need help, let me know, and I'm happy to have that conversation. 24-hour challenge. Get your business brief done. Everybody on this call who has ever been on my class should absolutely have that done. Run your connection audit. so that you can start putting things together. On one of my 2 lessons ago, I showed you how to connect via plugins to ChatGPT. You can go in and connect things. And again, under the privacy conversation, you can tell it what it can do with that. It can read it, or you can run certain things, but then you need approval to go a step further, or you can tell it, hey, you have complete control. I don't recommend that last one, but you can. There's always a balance between security and convenience. The more secure your information is, the less that the AI can do for you. But again, depending on your level of paranoia, you can tell it, don't use my data to train your model, which is one way to keep your information at least contained within your chat threads. So I would highly recommend you do that one if you're concerned about AI learning about you and using it other places. So that's like step one. Just go into ChatGPT settings or Claude settings and tell it, hey, you only use my data in my own chat threads. Do not use it anywhere else. And then even as you build these websites, it does force you to log into ChatGPT every time. And the reason for that is if it has personal data that is pulled from the various websites, you do want it to do that. So when we build out our sales dashboard and command center, we want it to be able to, what is the solution to this? It is your own due diligence. And so it's building out these things, it's building out the growth. It's doing all this great research for us and pulling all this stuff in. So that's the trade-off, giving it enough access so it can go out and find everything that we need to find. All right, let me share this deck with you guys. And please, please, please let me know if you have any questions. I am here for you guys. All right, let me drop that in there. So there's that one. And I already shared the workbook, but I'll do it again just in case somebody didn't get it. Boom, drop that in there. And then the contact links I always share. All right, folks, it was a lot of fun as usual. This dashboard, as I said, is a really important component to your day-to-day. We're building out all these sales dashboards, marketing dashboards, and then we're going to roll them all in together. And then ultimately, I'll probably go ahead and build a new AI app just based on this concept that we've been working on so that we all have a common tool we can use. I think that'll be fun as a class. And then I'm already working on my next idea. But in any way, let's just say that this was a pleasure and know what to do next and why it matters. I like that. All right, everyone, have a great week and we will continue on as usual. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.